What's up guys, this is Scher talking. Welcome back to my channel. On today's video, I'll be making a full review for the Romancing Festival Selma banner that brings Selma as a heavy damage dealer, Pale Nymph as a debuffer, and Butcher as a damage dealer, but also party booster. Okay, let's go and start talking about Selma. She's a very strong damage dealer, like I said, 131% dexterity and 120% agility. It's nice because she can apply some defense downs. This will help. 109% endurance and will is also very high for a character that is usually super weak. She even has two different damage reduction passives. As you can see here, when attacked, damage will be reduced by 30%, and then if it's skill based, she decreases it by 40. And if she resists, it's another 25. So much. Then she has 30% damage increase at all times and 5 stacks of heat ups. 5 times per battle, she can reach 180% damage increase by turn 5 and beyond. She starts the fight with 14 BP. Now, on the start of a battle, she grants herself Ghost Hop. And this skill here allows her to recover HP when attacking. And then when landing a weak attack, she is a character that needs to land weak attacks, she will follow up with Tackle Thrust. That is her first skill. Nothing special, just Pierce and Blunt. All of her skills are Pierce and Blunt in Deep Power. Okay, but since she has a chase, she will be healing on each hit. Then on the turn 2 onwards, when landing in an attack, she will recover 1 BP. And also when landing a weak attack, she will chase with Ghost Assault. Ghost Assault is then a single target attack with Pierce and Blunt. Before attacking, grants the target defense down. Just for that turn, defense down will be 35% as a command, but 30% as a follow-up. The skill has double S power, so it is pretty okay. It will feel more like a triple S power attack because of the defense down that is applied before attacking. Okay, so now on turn 3 onwards, she grants herself Ghost Jump. When landing an attack, recovers an extra BP. And when landing a weak attack, she would then follow up with her skill number 3, that is called Wu Pass Ghost Thrust. It is a 4S power attack that before attacking grants the target a blunt defense down and a pierce defense down. Both have 35% values, and because this skill and all of her skills have pierce and blunt as well, you benefit from both defense downs. And then launches an attack. That is 4S power, like I said. So that is a extremely powerful attack, and if you want to check, remember the latest Saruin. Saruin has a skill that is pretty much similar. His skill number 3, called Finizona, 4S power attack, double element, in his case slash and shadow, and then decreases the defenses of shadow and slash for 1 turn. Okay, and Saruin chase attack is only 50%. So what happens here is that by turn 3 onwards, Selma is already guaranteeing 3 different chases. And that is insane. We have to understand that she will be attacking 4 times. She will be self-healing 4 times for more than 1000 healings. She will then also recover a lot of BP because she will recover 2 BP by each attack. She is attacking 4 times, so 8 BP plus 3 by the end of a turn. On turn 3 onwards, she will be recovering 11 BP. That is insane. She barely needs any help to use her strongest attack. And if you consider that she will use this as a command and then sometimes use the chase right after, imagine the power of the other chases and even the power of other damage dealers in the party that can do blunt or pierce damage. It will be increased by quite a lot. So Selma is a very strong damage dealer that even has good sustain via self-recovery, also via triple different defenses, and even high endurance and will. I don't know why they made her so good, but she is. The changes made in Global make her the best S-word damage dealer. She offers 0 parts utility, but she's self-sustainable, she is strong, and has double element. Of course, for blunt, she is contested. She is probably stronger than Leon. We're on same levels. Leon has a lot of damage passives. If you have the anti-material shock bullet, I believe Leon will surpass her. And there is also Tatiana, that is a little stronger than Leon. You have those for blunt, you are pretty served. But the thing is, for Pierce, well, for Pierce, Selma is rocking because the competition is not as big. I believe that Shaw is one of the best ones right now, and she will do more damage than Shaw. when she is fully stacked. And Shaw is a special unit. Of course, he will still be better for AoE, and he has heat and pierce. Well, the heat part of his attacks is kinda special, while Selma blunt is a little more common. Still, if you are in need of help for S-Word Remembrance, especially versus the Megalith Dragon, she's going to speed up the damage by quite a lot, and it's much better than running someone like Swift that will now be much weaker when compared to Selma. Selma also beats Robin Fake. Will probably do like double the damage of Robin Fake, but Robin Fake gives a lot of sustain to the party. He gives attack boost, defense boost, and even BP. So the only thing I wish Selma had was a fast skill, probably her third one, just like Saruin has. But Saruin costs 16, hers is 14. Well, she's already super strong by using the skill number 3 and applying blunt defense down and pierce defense down for a total of 35 for each on max potential, then plus 30% for each as a chase alongside another defense down that reaches 30%. If you are using other characters with the same elements, pierce and blunt, that is pretty rare, but let's say you're going to do a lot of damage. But if that character is supposed to use a fast skill, they will go before Selma and not benefit from any of this. But if your older character is either pierce or blunt, they will already benefit if they are not fast. Selma damage potential is really high, I have to say. But now let's discuss inheritance, because there are quite a few that are pretty nice. Let's talk about that triple star that comes from her platinum style. Triple star was now amplified into triple star plus that can buff break the enemy and costs 10 BP. Okay, so now she's a damage dealer with access to buff break from a platinum style that everyone has access to. So you can decrease a little bit of her damage, but allow you to buff break the enemy. If the enemy buffs every turn and it's a dangerous move, you can just buff break every single turn, starting from turn 3 onwards. There is also this piercing illusion that will give a little bit of a healing and 1 BP. That will be more useful for remembrance. All the other skills are not that great. You could maybe start with Blooming Camphor because this is a double hit attack. And in the start, it can help build up some BP, but nothing else really matters. Selma is a very strong damage dealer that is just in a bad banner. And because of raw power, I believe she deserves a 4.5 out of 5 in the new grading system. If you don't have gens and if you don't want to pull, don't pull, because we will get other damage dealers that are just as good as Selma or even better by offering party sustain. The next character is Pale Nymph, and she is a mage with 129 intelligence and 120% will. 110% agility is needed because she's a debuffer, and 90% endurance. That is okay for a mage. Well, nothing really stellar, but also nothing really bad. She has mummy bandages. When landing an attack, she will recover her HP by around 300 and also 1 BP. You also grant her self-defense boost that increases damage taken by 25%, lasts for 2 turns and stacks. Now, when landing a single target attack, she will then reduce the enemy intelligence and agility by 5%, and then apply Binding of Thorns. This is the type of effect that she had in her past styles. This applies a thorn to the enemy, much like Sundered, and then after she applies, any new attack will then debuff this enemy intelligence and agility by 5%, a max of 5 times. So, if you are fast enough with Pale Nymph and apply this, your characters can apply 5 debuffs. But they also need to be fast in order to apply that on the same turn and even before the enemy attacks. You have to remember this. Now, when she's landing an AoE attack, she will then reduce the enemy SGR and dexterity by 5%, and then also grant this Binding of Bandages to the enemies. That has the same type of thorn, where subsequent attacks will apply SGR and defense down by 5%, to a total of up to 25%. So, if you want to debuff intelligence and agility, use a single target attack. If you want to debuff SGR and dexterity, use an AoE attack. Still have to attack with other characters in order to apply the real effects. The good thing about the system is that it is based on number of hits, not really number of attacks. So, a character like Leon that has many attacks works, but another character like Katarina that hits, for example, 3 times with her skill number 3, very short, in an even attack. Now, an attack damage is reduced by 25% and then by 30% as well. By the end of a turn, she gets 3 BP and also self-heals for around 300. So she is a character that will receive 7 BP per turn. Moving on, the first skill is Wind Bloom Plus, a very old skill from Bune that is full AoE, 2 BP cost, and can debuff the dexterity by up to 15%. Well, this is AoE so that you can actually just apply the AoE version of the debuff, and then you actually debuff 20% and can allow 5 thorns to debuff up to 45% total. Then the second skill is Phantom Sphere. It's a single target shadow attack, but it's still wind-based, that grants the enemy morale down medium, that will decrease the damage on the source by 25%, lasts for 3 turns, and then will remove the enemy intelligence and agility buff. It's a buff break with limited utility, but mages use intelligence and agility for accuracy and damage. Well, agility does not affect the damage, but it affects the enemy accuracy. Not that this is a problem, because enemies will actually always land their attacks. You're not going to evade in this game anymore. But then, since this is a single target attack, remember that when you use a single target attack, you will be also debuffing 5% and then also applying the thorns that can allow you to debuff another 25%. So you can stop the enemy from buffing and still debuff the values the enemy is using. For 8 BP, that's not really a problem because she gets 7 per turn. Okay, her single target setup is nice. But what about the AoE Mummy and Thorns? It's a full AoE slash and blunt attack this time. And before attacking, grants biting of bandages. That is the same one that you get from an AoE attack. Okay, so all in all, she's going to have 10 stacks of biting of bandages. And even the first hit is already guaranteed because it's before she attacks. So you will have 45% left to debuff. And by the first hit, you will debuff 10%. You'll also remove the enemy's STR and dexterity buff, and then attack. Damage with this character is really non-existent. You should not care about this. It's just a debuffer. And then by reaching this point, 9 hits can be a little hard to do. Or you don't need to debuff every 9 hits in that turn. You can still spread into the next one and maybe use Wind Bloom the next turn if you don't have enough PP to keep using Mummy of Thorns every turn. But if you have BP battery, you probably want to use Mummy on Thorns all the time. The problem is just that you need fast attackers or very high agility. Well, at least she's fast. As you can see here, 110% agility is usually good enough, but we are getting some damage dealers that are also very fast. So you have to consider this at least. Now, Pale Nymph has increased utility if you have her past premium style, because this one has this skill called Gift of Thorns. That is fast as well, slash damage. Before attacking, grants the target Binding of Thorns that debuffs intelligence and agility instead. It's 12 EP cost, so even costier, because you have 7 for agility and intelligence and then 5 for STR and dexterity. So you can actually debuff the 4 status that are used for damage calculations for any type of skill or spell. And with 12 BP costs, you need extra BP batteries, but it's still doable in my opinion. And it's how she can actually shine, since you can debuff so much that will actually matter. But then you have to have the inheritance skill. From that same style, you also have Ribbon Wheel that can give instant kill, confusion, and charm, so you help with Wuhan and Siegfried. Pale Nymph is an interesting type of debuffer that is just clashing with a very good one that is the newest Asylus. The newest Asylus is a beast when debuffing status, but she is focused on debuffing STR and intelligence. She still competes with Paulus, but Paulus is easier to use because it's like Paulus already gives the effect to everyone in the squad. No need of Thorn, no need of Fast. Anyone can act on their turn without any problem. And there are plenty of other characters that work similarly as well, like, for example, Orlette, that applies start of turn debuffs via her summer style, and some others. All in all, Pale Nymph is not bad, just hard to use and needs the inheritance to really shine. But if you just want to debuff STR and Dexterity, she works, but this is not really the best combination. And for single target intelligence and agility debuffing, she is okay, but nothing really stellar as well. I think considering the difficulty to use and the debuff that she comes with, I believe she deserves a 3 out of 5 and is very skippable, especially if you already have either Paulus or the newest Ocelus. The last character is Butcher, and he is a damage dealer with 129% STR and then 104% agility. He needed even higher agility, to be honest, and 99% will. Makes sense for the design of the character. Then, when at the start of a turn, he grants all allies this effect called Plunderer. When you land an attack up to 2 times, that means if your character has a chase, grants the target a defense down that will decrease their defenses by 10%, and this attack boost will increase your damage potential by 20. The attack boost lasts for 2 turns, but defense down only for that turn. When landing an attack, he will then chase with double swipe plus. This skill here is interesting. It is already a double hit attack, hits 2 times with C power, and tries to debuff the enemy's endurance by 10% because it's rank 1. So, you can debuff, but it will not happen most of the time. 81% intelligence is really not that great. And since you should say double C power is similar to a triple S power attack, it actually has a potential of 2 chases of triple S power. So, not really bad. Moving on, he starts the fight with 30% damage reduction, and then 40% damage potential, alongside heat-ups of 20% that will reach 140% damage total by turn 5 onwards, and 2 BP by the end of a turn. If you consider that he will be attacking and debuffing the enemy while also applying attack boosts, even if his damage potential is not that high, he can contribute a little if you are missing on the strongest X damage dealers. Moving on, skill number 1 is Slash and Shadow. For 1 BP, you have an attack with E power, pretty much similar to a normal attack, but with the extra elemental, and grants the user guard up small, decreasing damage taken by 12%. It's not that tanky, could have been a little more tanky. And then the second one is a support for all enemies. It will apply defense drop that permanently decreases the defense of the enemy by 15% for the whole fight, while also giving the whole squad a heat up that will increase the damage potential by 30%. This is like giving a heat up extreme to everyone, sort of. And then there is Axe Crusher, a single target attack with Slash and Shadow that before attacking will grant the enemy a defense down, this time by large effect. That will be 35% on max level, and then grants the user a large attack boost that will increase his damage potential by 20% on max level. The skill cost is just 8. It is not that strong, but since this one will be used as your main command to increase your power and then chase with your double swipe plus for 4 hits of C power, it actually does some good damage. But it's nothing stellar. The character support is just offensive, and it doesn't really impact much in long fights because we have weapons with 100% damage increase, characters with sometimes 200% damage increase, increasing 20, and then 10, and then 20 again. Doesn't really make a big impact. It will shorten the length of the fight, but since he does not give any type of defense boost or any other defensive support, it is pretty easy to skip Butcher. But I do feel like Butcher is better than running Tombola, because Tombola is extremely related to RNG. You can see that you have to keep using skill 3, and then you have this attack boost, and it deals more damage with the skill itself, but then there is no chases. And then at least Butcher gives more to the whole party. I feel like this guy is just redundant. He is still capable of doing Remembrance fights because of Flash of Terror, where he can apply poison to Carmine. He's an okay damage dealer for Death Master, but nothing else. It's just 4 damage, and characters that are just full damage are not really important. Even on Remembrance fights, you probably will get better characters in the future. Overall, I believe he deserves a 3 out of 5 in my new grading system. Now back to the banner image. Is this banner worth summoning for? In my opinion, no. I will give this banner a bronze award. Even though we have a very strong damage dealer as Selma, she is not really game changing because we will get either stronger damage dealers or damage dealers with support. But if you like the character, she's extremely powerful. Pale Nymph is a debuffer, but it's extremely hard to use, and to get her full potential you need inheritance. And Butcher is disposable even though he does do some decent damage. Overall, I skip this banner, and I recommend doing so till we see the news for anniversary. We never know what's coming, right? But that's just my opinion. What is yours? Say here in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I hope to see you soon in the next video or live stream. Goodbye.